I would like to bring in now retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert for a little more perspective here. General, so great to see you. Thank you so much for your time. I'd like to start with this news of the release of Marc Fogel from a Russian prison. How significant is this? What all has been happening behind the scenes? What did it likely take to make this happen?
Nichole, it was heartbreaking last summer that Marc wasn't part of the deal that was brokered by President Biden then, but it is such a relief that he is now on his way home. And like the president has said, this is a sign of goodwill or good faith that Russia is willing to negotiate with the United States. And first of all, we've got to rejoice that Marc Fogel is coming home. But secondly, this is a good sign that because of the relations between Putin and President Trump, that maybe there is a window of opportunity to start marching down the path of ending the war in Ukraine.
Well, yeah, talk about that just a little bit more. I mean, what do you think this potentially means for U.S. relations with Russia?
Nichole, I think there's two things. Number one, in order to broker a deal to end the war in Ukraine, you need a president or a leader that can get the ear of both Zelensky and Putin, and President Trump has that. But secondly, we as the United States and the world needs to convince both of those leaders that it is in their best interest in the war. And that's where we need to continue on finding a mix of geography, economic, and military components that can find an end to the war that both sides can agree upon.
All right, so let's talk about the other major news there that Robert was talking about. The president is now saying, quote, all hell will break out if Hamas does not release all of the hostages by Saturday afternoon. We just heard during his meeting there with the King of Jordan, a reporter asked him the same thing. He did not back down. What do you think happens if Hamas does not cooperate?
Nichole, it is refreshing that we have a president of the United States that is giving red lines to the terrorists, not red lines to our friend and ally in Israel. And I think based on the combination of factors of President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu in their very positive meeting last week, that now Israel has the top cover to mobilize reservists, which they have done, and be poised to start or resume the war against Hamas unless all of the hostages are released this weekend. And I think Hamas now understands that the president of the United States is serious, that Israel has the support of the United States that they didn't have the entirety of 2024. And now there is a hope that all of those hostages, not just drips and drabs, 2 or 3 at a time, can be released by this weekend and finally start ending this conflict in a way that is beneficial to our friend in Israel.
Absolutely. And as you were speaking there, Brigadier General, we saw live as President Trump was wrapping up that meeting with the King of Jordan. A question for you. Do you think, based on what we're hearing from President Trump, based on what we are hearing from Israel's prime minister, do you think this ceasefire holds?
I think that the ball is now in Hamas's court. And the reason why President Trump is meeting with King Abdullah from Jordan, the reason why Secretary Rubio was meeting with his counterpart in Egypt yesterday, is to help both of those countries to understand that it is in their best interest and their responsibility to help find a way to not only continue a ceasefire, but then find a way after the ceasefire expires to find a positive way forward that's beyond platitudes and moralizing to support Palestinians and to rebuild Gaza. All of those factors are a key component in the continuation of the ceasefire and a successful end to this war. But we need the strength of a president and the leadership of a president that can bring all parties to the table and help Hamas understand that we are serious, and so is Israel, in ending this war.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.